it's moving. See, the problem I have though is that on the hourly chart, I was hoping for a slightly different development yesterday. I was hoping that we would get a break of. First of all, I was hoping that we would get a firm break of this lower support line on the hourly. I still think RSI supports that notion. And I also had put in a trend line on the tops, the most recent tops being set on the hourly, and we did see resistance there, and I was really pretty confident, in fact, that we were going to start to triangulate a little bit here and then break. So I have actually added to my short position in this area some real nasty junk, which depending on today's action, I may have to pull out. I don't want to carry any nasty junk until I'm 100% positive that we're going to have the break that I'm looking for, and then I'm going to pile in on it like a madman. Finally, just looking at the so anyway, one other thing I just wanted to point out on this chart is that this inverted head and shoulder pattern could be developing, and if you notice that we have a shoulder, a head, and we may even have this morning the kind of finishing up of the neck, touching of the neckline, and then a push down to the 83 area. Depending on how these averages start to move, if we break through here, if we break through this 1183 without forming a shoulder, or of course if we continue to go over here, but if we do come back into this triangle and we do break below 1183, and let's say 1183, 1182, this area in here, that's being supported by these two local highs. Our next stop is, this is a very, this is going to be a little bit of congestion, but we're going to, I think we would see us, this congestion is not going to be very strong support if it's reached below this bottom trend line. I think it's a rapid drop. And the question becomes, does 1170 help? And from there on down, and we start getting into lower and lower levels, like I think are going. I think that's what's going to happen. Okay, finally, one last look, and this is at the 5 minute chart over the last 5 days. Just taking a look at another look at this. Do we in fact have other support that says that we could be breaking down, or we could be breaking out. The line in the sand here today is probably in this 1189. I would put this a little bit higher, honestly. I would put this a little bit higher, probably 89, and in this area here, perhaps as high as this right up here, this last local. That would be considered the neck line here. So it's around 11. How sloppy is this? 1190 in that area. I do think that if we get a break of that, we've already broken out of this bottom trend line on the 5 minute. This is similar to what we saw in the hourly. We've come back. We almost touched it. That wasn't satisfying enough for the market. There was some heavy selling at the end towards the close, and they came back and touched again. We're looking like we're going to open up a little bit, but that doesn't mean much to me. We may come up, we may touch this 1190 area, and then we may see a firm rejection. And again, we see, where are we headed? Where is the next stop point? And somewhere here in this 1183 area, again, we have some support from that little bounce up, and we also have some demonstrated support that's probably from the historic stuff that we saw before. So, I'll note that we're punching through, we're breaking down through the 20-period moving average right now on the 5 minute chart, which had an upward, which crossed over the 50 period, which is bullish, crossed over the 200 period, which is bullish, but now we're coming back, and then the 50 period crossed over the 200 period, and now we're heading south. So the question is, we got a bounce going. These are pretty bullish signs, frankly. I mean, this is the fact that we broke this trend, that the averages are crossing. This is such a terrible trend line here, so askew. But at any rate, I make no apologies for that. So anyway, unfortunately, short term, meaning on the 5 minute chart, based on the futures and just the 5 minute chart over the last 5 days, there's an argument here that says that we're going to have a test of this 1190 and then the ultimate test of 1192 today. And I can only hope for a firm rejection. Otherwise, I got to remove all that junk. So there's the skinny. I hope you guys can make some good use of this. And on the Bollinger Bands, I hope some of that information was helpful. There's really a lot more to discuss about Bollinger Bands, but for now, I think that's fine. Looking forward to your comments, guys. Thanks.